Chapter 926, The Prisoner Mine.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Pod-D-Cast, the only podcast with a D in it. I am the best guy ever, and here is Hypocrite. That's not a very hippo-sounding noise.
Oh, it's me, Hypocrite. I'm back again.
Did you smallify yourself?
No, I'm not going to do that the whole time. I was just sort of like stretching, and then it happened. Hello, it's me. I'm here to talk about Law with his cool teenager rolled up sleeves.
Dude, such a badass. Damn. He's such a bad boy. He doesn't even have sleeves. You know, partially. That's the cover page here, people, where Chopper and Law are studying medicine with a knowledgeable tortoise and crane. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Why, has there, this isn't really to shit on Law, particularly, but, like, there hasn't been a ton of discussion as to, like, really why he's a doctor. I guess because when he was young, he had that illness. Him and Rocinante traveled around looking for a cure, and he did do studying, I think, of his disease to, like, try to find a way to cure it, and didn't, like, find that, which is why they travel around.
Right, here's why.
Yeah.
It's because the idea of, like, a surgeon that cuts you up, a devil fruit, like, badass, like, I'll slice you up, I know exactly how to get your arteries right out of you.
Yep.
That's just cool and badass, and that's the thing. That's his thing.
The aesthetic of a battle surgeon, which is what Law
like
is.
Like a TF2, he's the TF2 medic, except more emo.
You know what? You are correct. That is absolutely true. Please draw that picture and send it to us. I guess at TPcrastinators, because we don't have our own Twitter. We should make one at some point. In any case, people, here we go. It's time to get to chapter 926, The Prisoner Mine. And let's just jump right into it, shall we?
Yes.
Wano Country, the flower capital. I think it was the end of last chapter. Wait, did we start the new arc at the beginning?
Yes, no, it was in the middle. It was in the middle of the chapter.
That's right. Okay.
Came back, so we're back in the stuff. Time seems to have passed, and we're in the Wano Country flower capital. We're hearing about some characters that I don't know who, like, whether we're supposed to guess who these people are at all.
Yeah, this guy Kamazo the Manslayer, which may or may not, I think, be this ghost. They're apparently, so there's a ghost that people are talking about, and there's a street murderer, Kamazo the Manslayer, being talked about. I suspect none of these sound like traits that we should know about, and we see Kamazo on the bottom right, the bottom left here. I think that is going to be one of the, like, samurai guys that we're looking for.
I feel like
because he doesn't look familiar. So
yeah.
And then I don't know about this ghost, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And there's the Witching Hour Boy is another one. That's interesting.
I really like that name, imply. The Witching Hour Boy. Like, he's definitely not...
He's a lad.
He's just a little boy.
And so, I mean, it was 20 years ago that the whole thing went down. So this guy must be like a new recruit, if he is in fact a boy. Perhaps just not a very small old man. Also possible. With a youthful visage. Anyway, so here we've got some samurai dude walking, and bacha, like a slut, showing his ankles in public, not wearing his hijab. Don't like that one bit. And we see him just walk by a mustachioed man with a long nose. And then he notices, what's this? It's that card. Wait a minute, that card. This guy, he gets it. So, and here Usopp is just walking around. They're slipping these cards into potential allies and recruiting them. It's pretty cool.
I'm impressed with how Usopp was able to, like, give him that without him realizing that he was being given it.
Not to overhype this too much, this is one of the coolest things Usopp's ever done, in my humble opinion. Because big, like, oh my god, Usopp's developing observation hockey, and he, like, sniped these people from a million yards away. Hype, epic, yes, all true. But what we're seeing here with this page is Usopp being a stealthy, skillful, just dude who doesn't need to, like, he's being like Robin right now, only without superpowers. He's just a dude who can fucking be crafty with his fingers and slip you the bird. He's flipping everybody the bird on these streets today. And they don't even notice. And, like, it's just like, wow, look how far Usopp has come from that fucking asshole we met in town, just goofing and lying to people, and now he's like a fucking stealth samurai guy.
Yeah,
he's so cool. I love Usopp.
It's very cool, especially the fact that it's like he is in like a disguise in a dangerous situation, and if he gets found out, he'll be killed. But he's not. He doesn't do the whole like, oh, it's so scary. I'm fucking scared about it. He's just like, I'm doing my job.
Man.
He's doing his job.
I can't tell you how happy this one little panel made. These a series of panels. God, Usopp looks fucking cool here. He's just look at Usopp carrying his fucking weight as a member of the Straw Hat crew, right? It just makes me so happy to see. Remember Water 7, where Usopp was like, guys, I can't keep up with you. I'm the human here. You're all monsters. I can't keep up. And that whole crisis he went through. But no, he persevered, he improved himself, and he ran with the big dogs, just like everyone else should do, and learn from this lesson. God, I fucking love it so much. Okay, that's all I have to say. Makes me very, very happy.
It's
Oh, and his little smile on the next page, his big old, I fucking did it because I'm cool.
And Law's like underlings there, like no character whatsoever, cool, but still like, this is so cool. And then Beppo there with his helmet on, I think that's him. Like
that's Law himself. That's Law himself, I think.
No, because I mean Beppo probably has that as well. It looks like a big helmet for Law to have, and Law's
I guess you're
elsewhere
right.
at the moment. I think maybe.
Fair enough. It's probably Beppo. That's probably true. It's cool. Oh, it's very, very cool. It's just this is a pretty hype series of pages here, and like we see all these weird looking samurai guys getting the cards and recognizing this guy in the bottom right looks pretty cool. This is I can like feel the momentum building. This is a very low key hype ass chapter, and I'm really loving it so far. Really loving it.
Yeah.
The whispers of the Kozuki family. And then we've got some big lad with a that's not a Welsh corgi. What are those? Shiba Inu, a little Shiba Inu. Just talking. They're just discussing what everybody else is thinking.
Oh yeah,
he's like, I'm gonna go fight everybody.
Yeah, he's got the thing. He's like, he recognizes that these guys are in the know, and and they're talking about like the young man is like, I'm so pumped up, but the old man's like, you stupid idea that you can't even have swords. Only samurai are allowed to have swords in this country. And they've outlawed kendo and all the dojos. It's all gone. You can't be strong. It's impossible.
Yeah. Yep. What a fascinating phenomenon to like outlaw strength, and like in the age when like 'cause Japan really did this. I'm sure most people know if they watch like Rurouni Kenshin or whatever. The Japan outlawed swords, just like how a lot of people want to like outlaw guns for various understandable reasons because they're dangerous and shit. Outlawing swords, but swords are like a skill-based thing. That concept has always fascinated me.
Well, it's a skill-based thing, but like if you have a sword, you're much more dangerous than if you don't.
Sure.
Like you don't need to know how to wield it. If you can throw it, you just swing it randomly at somebody. If you catch them and they don't know how to defend themselves, they're gonna get cut.
Yeah.
So like
that's true. But it's like I mean it's true. Swords are deadly. It's true. Don't fucking
touch swords.
Touch swords. That's the one. That's their motto in the Wano country.
That's the guy. That's the guy right here. Don't fucking touch swords. There he is.
This old guy. Yeah, he doesn't like this. This guy wants to touch swords real bad. He's just not allowed to by those bullies in the castle. It's just that with swords are like a +10 attack buff. But, like, it takes, like, if you have skill, then it can be, like, way more. I mean, especially in fictional stories like this where Zoro can literally be a magic man with a sword. And without it, he's okay, but he's not great. But a gun is, like, you can have way less skill, but it gives you way more power, in the real world. Guns are actually less powerful, I guess, in One Piece. Okay, whatever. People get the point. Right. It's cool. But it's interesting that swords are outlawed. I wonder how they're going to handle that. How they're going to acquire weapons.
There's an interesting thing, because, like, in the panel right below that, we see Usopp with his toad oil sailing, and he's got a sword. And I'm like, okay, is this showing that, like, Usopp is going to be, like, a secret arms dealer as well?
That was my thought when I saw that. I'm not sure. He's doing something, but we cut away so we don't actually see what he's talking about. But based on the layout here, I'm pretty sure that's 100% what's about to go down. He's going to sell toad oil
maybe he has like
swords.
A license to wield this prop sword for his demonstrations, But if he's, he sends out the little slip and is like, hey, if you got any, bile toad oil, and it's like, that's the key word. It's like, okay, yes, come to the back, sir. And then he's got the real weapons, and then he's handing out fucking blades, and it's fucking coolest thing.
That's probably exactly what's happening, and I fucking love it. It's fucking dope.
Yes, and
God, this is exciting.
We cut
Usopp
away.
Is getting, yeah. We cut away.
We cut away to some lads, some rich evil devils, who are royalty or lordliness, talking about armaments and swords. So this is very much part of the setup for
yep,
stuff,
the rebellion and the rearming of the people.
And so what are they talking about? They're talking about the armament shipments. And I don't know. I'm trying to think. I was reading this before, and I'm like, who is who, and where are they getting this from? And where are they giving it to?
I think what's happening is these appear to be some lords. Obviously, they're actual Wano people. My guess here is that this discussion of an armament shipment coming in, it sure would suck if that armament shipment was captured by our boys and used to give weapons to an uprising instead of arming, the samurai class that is in power in Wano currently or something under Orochi and all those guys. That's my guess, that there's something like that. And so Nami's here spying on them, probably acquire this information.
They're talking about an armament shipment order. So they get an order from outside the country's borders, and they're asking for a lot of stuff, and their job is to make what they ask for.
Oh, I get it. Okay, you're right. This
is confirming that Wano sells the special Kairoseki metal to other countries. They do trade. They just don't understand what's going on. It's like, there's a big order coming in. It's like, who's buying all that stuff? Are they planning to start a war? Is this the revolutionaries? Is this more is the
Navy or
Marineford getting a big old war ready? Could be a little hint dropped.
I have a question here. We see Nami doing these kind of reconnaissance work. Nami is not a spy. I mean, I know she's Black Cat or Cat Burglar Nami and all that, but you've got an actual trained kunoichi here who probably does this kind of shit a lot. And Nami, I know, she's a kunoichi in training, but Robin is an actual spy with actual abilities that would make this a trivial thing to do. I'm just why is Nami doing this exactly? What's the benefit of having her here?
It's because Robin's doing something else, I guess. I mean, the joke with this old
Why isn't
kunoichi
just
lady
by herself? Why isn't old lady just doing this alone? Seems like a better idea.
It is kind of strange because she is the joke is that she is a terrible kunoichi, and the only talent she has is her sexy, seduction skills. But it's clear she doesn't have that either. So it's what is she good at?
Yes, that is very weird. That's okay. I get that it's a joke, but when you apply any kind of okay, but why are we trusting this person to do this job?
Well, it comes down to but why is she a character?
That's true.
If she sucks at being a kunoichi, clearly she's important at some point. She's gonna do something, right?
Yeah. Probably something. Job to someone else who's even more embarrassing a character. But then again, remember that what's his name, Ashura or whatever, that fat samurai guy? He looks shitty, but he's actually good. Maybe she'll have some good skills that we just haven't seen yet. It doesn't look like it, because as they immediately get found out, though actually they get spotted because of Nami, as a matter of fact. But then this girl keeps screaming, Shinobu. She starts shrieking and shrieking and shrieking.
It's really funny. Nami is keeping quiet, and the whole thing of it, she manages to actually fool them into thinking it was a cat by meowing, and then what's her name?
Shinobu.
Shinobu screams again, and it's just oh, you ruined it. It's great.
Bad.
It's pretty funny.
But then they do escape with this ninja glider, so that's cool. So she's got some stuff. Not bad. And Nami did acquire the name of the port and the day the ship is leaving, so they can maybe intercept it.
Yes, and they say it in bold so that we don't know. So we're we can't speculate. It could just be fucking anybody.
Yep.
But once we know the name of the port, or at least the well, actually, even if we know those things, it won't change anything. We'll maybe get a bit of an information when we see that, because I feel like they're going to go to that port at some point to intercept it or to like take the weapons, give them to the people, and there's going to be like someone there saying, "Where's our fucking stuff? We ordered all this stuff. Let's invade Wano because they didn't give us our metal."
Could be something like that. Although we've only got like 2 weeks, so someone would need to. I mean, I don't know. You can get places pretty fast.
I feel like it's setting up the way how like Don Flamingo being taken down like disrupted a lot of like back alley dealings and stuff, and now loads of people are, it's gonna send ripples throughout the rest of the world rather than just being a self-contained thing.
Yeah, definitely possible. That also reminds me of just how Doflamingo was able to, in the span of maybe hours, get from Dressrosa to Punk Hazard just using his string flying abilities and shit. Man, he's a brave guy, because if he fell in the water, he would just die. But luckily, his string powers are really good. Do you remember how he does that, people? You know how Doflamingo looked like he was flying? He attaches his strings to clouds. That is canonically how he does it.
I kind of forget exactly what his string power is. Like
it's just everything. Don't worry about it.
Like he touches strings, and they're invisible. They can control. People.
He produces strings from his body, but then because he's awakened, he can also turn the environment into strings.
The thing not to like go on a tangent too much, but like the thing that I got confused at the first time I read about like Don Flamingo connecting the clouds was I thought it was a cloud fruit. And so, as long as he was indoors, he couldn't use his strings, because the strings come from the clouds to him, or something like that.
No matter what, it doesn't make sense, because I'd like to point out the fact that a person weighs, like, I don't know, like, that guy is literally over 10 feet tall, so he probably weighs, I don't know, 500, 600 pounds, maybe, whatever, let's say 300 pounds. A cloud can't, like, it's made of water vapor. I don't know how it does any of that. It supports his weight. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. He's a silly boy. Anyway, so they escaped. Cool. Excellent.
Yes.
And now
also,
here we are.
Shinobu has a fear of sharp objects, and that was funny.
Yeah, she's the worst.
She's just
basically
totally
the worst.
Useless.
And here we see a big old line, waiting in line to get some of Sanji's delicious food. How nice. Soba noodles. Delicious. I don't actually get what's going on here. So he's just making noodles. I don't think he's contributing at all to like the war effort.
No, he's not. They're just sexy ladies. He's like, I just want to make food for them, and then Nami's like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, maybe he's getting the slut population on board for this uprising. Hopefully, the slut population, aka women. As it is. And
then we get a devilish little eye at the bottom left, who is looking at Sanji.
Yeah.
And he's getting mad.
I wonder who that man is. Who could that lad be?
There's so many people being introduced and secretly introduced and mysteriously implied to be introduced that I just don't know anymore. It's just sort of like, okay, cool. It is cool, but like, whew. There's so many that I don't even know which secret eye this could be. It's like 100.
It's true. I'm gonna guess, by the way, that streetwalker killer person. There were 3 legendary samurai. We've already seen like Asura or whatever his name was. I'm guessing that street killer is one, and I'm gonna guess that other person in the jail cell where Luffy was locked, that we couldn't see who it was, I'm guessing that's the third. So I'm just saying, I think that we've seen all 3 of those guys, but we'll find out as we go.
So now we get to the prisoner mines, the place where they're getting all of the metal from that they need to make the weapons to ship over from the port. So it's like everything is connected. And this is where they get all the Kairoseki from, I suppose.
Well, maybe something like that. They're moving rocks, they're beating metal, they're doing all kinds of stuff to make cool shit. So this I presume this is where they make the weapons that are then shipped off on those, like in those meetings that we saw before by those nobles and whatnot. And here we've got the smallest little old man being given just a wee single dango, kibi dango, for moving 1 or 5 big block rocks. You get 1 of those kibi dangos. And so he's but this man's too tired. He can't work on just 1 kibi dango a day. But he's got to keep trying. And his other people are helping him up after they give him a little smackaroo.
I just want to mention the fact that he says talking back to a god comes with the punishment of amputation.
Indeed.
That's a bit funny. That's a bit over the top, like, because it's not so much it's not, like, helpful for a prisoner who needs to move things to have, like, one leg or one arm. It's just pointlessly over the top. They may as well just kill him at that point.
Although having one arm doesn't stop some characters, as we'll see moving on down this page. And so somebody's got a couple more or a couple more exchange coupons. They get a couple of dongos, and then what? What's this? Down here at the bottom of this page, we've got some fast-moving, fast-fucking young men carrying some big blocks, running, trying to earn themselves some wafers and some food. And boom, there they are. Luffy and Law and Kid. Not Law, way better than Law is Kid. This is basically our real introduction to the character of Eustace Captain Kidd. And here he is, competing with Luffy, carrying big old blocks. And he's doing it with one arm, you might notice, people, if you've forgotten. He lost his left arm, seemingly over the time skip, had replaced it with a metal one. But and because he's wearing a sea stone cuff now, he probably can't use his magnetism powers. And so here he is with just one arm carrying blocks. And
how
good.
Powerful would he be if he had those cuffs off in a metal factory?
It's very, very powerful. I would be extremely... there's a lot of autonomy given to the workers and the prisoners in this, like, jail. Like, it's actually a little bit... Okay, so Luffy and Kid are, like, they're carrying blocks, earning vouchers and shit. That's cool. And while wearing sea stone cuffs, they're doing all this. I'm a little bit shocked that, like, Luffy is just doing this and not trying to escape currently. Like, I know it's for laughs, it's fun, maybe he's already tried and failed. But considering he's given so much freedom in this place, this is my one... I've got a couple of nitpicks for this chapter. It's, like, really shocking that Luffy is spending any time doing this and not just pounding on walls to escape. Because it's really hard to believe that he can't just break out. But he is strong enough to just carry these big blocks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
the fact that he's carrying the blocks, like, while running...
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about the idea that despite the sea stone cuffs, they're still able to do this. And
okay, you know what? Let's get into this. A lot of people are talking a lot of shit about the sea stone cuff thing because people have been posting. When the first time we ever saw sea stone in the whole series was when Luffy met Smoker for the first time in Rogue Town. And Luffy, he has like the thing, the jute, Smoker's jute, tipped with sea stone, sticking on him in the stomach, and he looks exhausted with his tongue going out like, ugh, oh, I can't move. And Smoker's like, yes, that's my sea stone, jute. It drains the power of devil fruit users like us. But I would like to point out that there have been many times throughout the series where characters wearing sea stone cuffs have been able to move. Let me raise, for example, there was a time during the Marineford arc where Marco was clapped with sea stone cuffs. He immediately got like shot through his chest and all that stuff, but he was not like forced to the ground, couldn't move. He was still able to walk around and move, even though he immediately got fucked up by Kizaru and a couple people. So it doesn't actually piss me off or anything that like...
well, I mean, it doesn't piss me off either, because yeah. I do remember things like that, and I know that that you could imagine that if you are... you could get used to it if you're under the effects for like a really long time. Yeah. And you could just like... The only thing is, like you say, he's the amount of strength he has with the cuffs on is so great right now that he could easily smash a lot of stuff up.
Overpower the guards and escape, and even with the sea stone cuffs. It's true. I
mean, Luffy doesn't seem... or Kid doesn't seem like the type to be like worried about their physical well-being, even though they probably should. But they seem to be like staying like, because like if they get shot with bullets, that's it. They're going to get hurt.
Well, Luffy, I mean, let's not forget, with Kid that's true, but with Luffy, his devil fruit doesn't switch off when he's touched with sea stone.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
He is still made of rubber. It's just that he is weakened. Is really all that it does to him. Because of the type of paramecia devil fruit he is, as opposed to Kid's, which appears to be like a kind of like a switch flip one. And those don't work as well.
An electromagnetic devil fruit rather than a magnetic one.
Right. I don't know. Was there another point? I was going to say one other point about Luffy. I'd just like to point out that Luffy is made of rubber, right? So would it really be that hard for Luffy to squish his hand inward to get out of cuffs? This is just a small point. I'm just saying. Has anyone ever thought about this? Why can't he just like stretch out, literally? Because you can rubber's quite flexible. If you're unaware.
I feel like that might be a plot hole.
Oh no! You know what? I just want to say that on that point, and on the point of Luffy and Kid being trapped here, like, yes, I can nitpick that, like, why are they here? Why aren't they trying to break out? They seem really strong. Rule of cool, I think that it's a cool setting of Kid and Luffy trapped in a prison, just doing work to, like, earn vouchers, to earn food. I like that. It's funny, and so I'm not that upset, and I don't really care.
I also like it. But, like, the idea that he could have squished his hand, because, like, it's always...
there's been many times.
It's always, like, the main thing I think of is, like, when Sanji swam down while Luffy was at the bottom of the sea in Arlong Park, brought his head up.
Yep.
So, like,
that's
maybe, the only reason Luffy couldn't do that himself was because he felt so weak, but now he can feel so strong while in these cuffs. He could easily just squish his hand out. I mean, if that becomes, like, a point, like, later, and he's like, oh, I never thought of that, and it was a joke, I wouldn't even mind that. That would be funny.
I mean, Luffy, this isn't the first time Luffy's had sea stone cuffs on him. He had them on...
fucking impel down.
Yeah, exactly. Though I think if I remember correctly, he actually... No, wait, he didn't wear sea stone cuffs. I think what happened was he was just rampaging through the jail until he got caught by Magellan, if I remember correctly.
And then he got
just,
poisoned.
Like, insta-died. Yeah, and he didn't get back up until he was escaping with Ivankov and all those guys.
Yeah, I guess.
So I don't actually think he's worn them up to this point in the series, if I remember correctly. So I guess it's never actually been a quote-unquote theoretical plot hole until right now. Yeah, you would think that he could squish his hand. And I'd like to point out, I watched a movie recently called Gerald's Game, which is a great film about a woman who is having a sexy time with her husband, and she gets handcuffed to a bed, and ultimately what she does to escape is slice her wrist and hand so that she can kind of like crush her hand and escape out of the handcuffs. I'm just saying, if just some over the hump, dumpy ass, busted old broad can do it, then I would hope that the future Pirate King can figure a fucking way out. Although then again, he has both his hands in cuffs, so you have to cut both of them. So he's like, ooh, I don't want to do two. That'd be too much. Okay, that's all I've got. That's all I've got on that point.
Yeah.
People, don't worry about it. It's fine. Relax. It's fine to nitpick, but just don't let it kill your enjoyment. But I don't think anybody's gonna do that. So here they are. They're running. They're carrying millions of blocks. Everyone's slow. They're carrying so many fucking blocks. They got even with these shackles.
Then they turn their chips in. They get a big old prize, a big old huge amount of bowl full of stuff.
So many Kibidongo. They must have carried like thousands of them to have all this shit. And we see that Luffy and Kid are both big eaters. They're both just chowing the fuck down, and they're competing about who moved more. And now I want to point out that Luffy and him, maybe Luffy did move one more, maybe not. That's kind of a goofy thing. It may or may not be true. But Kid did it with one arm, I just want to say. Then again, he only has one sea stone cuff. So theoretically, maybe he's at less of a power debuff. Shit.
I don't know. I don't think that really has
it's
anything
not worth
to do
even
with
worrying about.
I like this characterization of Kid. It makes sense that, the guy who, like, took Kaido head on and got punished for it is the sort of guy like Luffy who would just get angry and competitive and eat a lot and be rowdy and, like, rah.
If you remember, people, when we were first introduced to him in Shabanee Archipelago, Kid here he had the highest bounty of anybody, though he hadn't performed as amazing of feats as, like, storming Enies Lobby as Luffy had done, but he had caused a lot more collateral damage, which is why his bounty was higher. And
back then,
he was notable. He was notably different from Luffy in that this was discussed, I think, at the time. If anyone said to Luffy that, like, haha, you can't be Pirate King, Luffy would laugh it off, like Shanks, because that was his role model and his example. Kid was different. Anyone who laughed at him when he said he was going to be king of the pirates, which he does, he will just kill them or destroy them. That's how he handles those situations. Yeah, so different philosophy, but similar guys, kind of. I love Kid. I love him.
He's the edgy version of Luffy.
That's right. He's so cool.
In a different way to, like, how... oh no, I forgot his name. What a sin. I forgot the name of the big... No, the big tall guy, the mochi man.
Oh, Katakuri.
Katakuri, yes.
Yes.
Like, Katakuri is also, like, an edgy version of Luffy, but, like, this guy is, like... Mm-hmm. Is another edgy version of Luffy, but in a different sort of way. Like they're kind of like not level competitors, like clear rivals. Well, what am I saying? I'm saying that he's edgy, and that's funny. But also, like, Law seems to be like an edgier version of Luffy or Zoro or something.
Yeah, that's
There's
true.
a lot of edgy Luffys out there. It's funny.
There's a lot of similarities between a lot of these characters. Because, I mean, if you want to be the Pirate King, you're going to share some, like, rashness, some boldness, some, adventurous spirit and whatnot. But, you get the idea. So they're just commenting here on how... The guards are commenting on how these guys came in injured and like, wow, they're already healed up so much. And I think this is probably Oda's justification for why they're working so hard. They're like, wow, they've just been working, eating, and sleeping, and they've already healed up. So it seems probably the reason they didn't try to escape was because they wanted to heal first.
It's just like, oh, that food looks pretty good for prison food. I'm going to work in the prison.
Yeah.
It works.
It's a weird... It's a weird meritocracy in this fucking jail run by Kaido, where like the more you work, like the better you're basically paid or fed.
I feel like that might be deliberately a tactic in Kaido, because like he wants these prisoners to become part of his crew eventually, assumedly. Because
that is true. That is true.
Like,
and like the weak
the
people,
better
they
you
can
work
just
for
die.
me, the better you work for me, the better the stuff you'll have. It's like, hey, you know what? I kind of like working for Kaido. He feeds me well if I do well. There's all that sort of stuff.
That's fair. All right, but let's move on to the most horrifying page in history. Next page, Deputy Warden, which means there's a head warden somewhere else who I'm excited to meet. Deputy Warden Dobon the Hippo Smile User. Ladies and gentlemen,
smiling.
We got him. Are you smiling? You liking this guy?
I'm not smiling. I'm not really smiling about it.
This is the most... and everyone's commenting like, Jesus Christ, his fusion with that hippo is so fucked up. So, it's a big hippo. His torso appears from the bottom of the mouth of the hippo, and like he is the front legs on the bottom of the jaw of the hippo. This is disturbing on many levels and appears completely useless.
Yes, God. It is hilarious. People have said Hippo is finally in One Piece for real. So like, yes, this is canonically Hippo.
Oh, so is he the big boy who...
No.
Like,
the human who ate the smile? No, that's not him. Hippo is the hippo.
Right, okay, with this unrelated human in his mouth.
Yes.
Well, there he is.
There he is. And the ghost from earlier, that's the Lord of Ghosts.
Oh, yeah?
All of my characters are canon in One Piece.
Where's was it? I forget if it's Knife Girl or Gun Girl.
Gun Girl.
Gun Girl.
Oh, Knife Girl should be another character. I'll just make that real.
Make it this,
she stabs you
bitter
up.
rival. So here we go. So this hippo just bites down, and he gets fucked, because this is like the most horrendous D-power smile of all time. I don't know what advantage was gained by eating the smile, but that's okay. And here he is, just the Luffy and Kid. Okay, big fat boy Kid is adorable, and I'm a little shocked to see like an edgy character like Kid be, fat boy, but I love it, and it's cute, and he's the best character in One Piece. I love him. He's so cool. He's so fucking fat. But instantly, we see the characters commenting like, wait, what's happening? Why are they shrinking so fast? So,
they got
shown in Big
metabolism.
Eater trope.
It's funny about that, because like I always thought Luffy's like ridiculous eating habits and metabolism was because he was a rubber man and could stretch his stomach so much.
That was your headcanon bullshit. I knew all along. I'm a genius. I know about shonen
but
tropes.
like no other character has eaten to be like huge fat.
To be huge fat, you are correct. I don't think any other character's ever done that. Although, well, I've seen characters with like bigger bellies, but nothing on the level of Luffy. But here, Kid is doing it. Kid. This might be the first time of the series that anyone else has done it, besides, like, I don't know, maybe like Wapole or something, but he doesn't count because he's got a devil fruit for that. This is funny and cute, and I love it, and it's great.
I guess the point is to show that, like, when you're physically really strong, you have fast metabolism, and you eat and sleep and rest and work, and then you could easily heal up. So I guess it's just a thing, like, just exercise. Do like 10 press-ups every second.
Eat big to get big, people. You got to eat big to get big. That's the old saying. And it just shows another parallel between these two. I think Oda's doing it, even if he's perhaps stretching.
No, stretching.
stretching the canonicity of if Kid would actually get big like Luffy or whatever. Point is, he's just making similarities between the two to show that they're like brothers or they're very similar, which I like a lot. And then our next panel here, remember Karibo, everybody, in that cover arc, who the mud boy who attempted to rape the princess, the Fishman Island princess, and went on an adventure and led a communist revolution, and then got beat up by D.Ace Drake. And here he is. Here he is now in jail.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I guess Drake put him in there. Yeah. Why is this guy a character? I mean, I don't hate him. I've just never really liked him.
Well, Oda sometimes just makes some meme characters that he likes to follow. And I mean, it's appropriate to show this character here, even if he never does anything ever again, because based on the arc of what's happened to him so far, it is perfectly reasonable that he would end up in a jail like this, because he was defeated by Drake.
Yeah.
So, like, seeing him here makes sense. If you're asking why he even, like, got a cover arc, like, why was he even relevant to begin with? Why is he here now? I don't have an answer for that.
I feel like he's, like, Buggy 2.0 in that he's like a villainous character who's kind of gets into stupid situations, and in this part right now he's going to like join these guys in their uprising of the jail, and he's going to be like a villain but working with them for the time being. Except he's not as cool as Buggy, because Buggy is really funny.
Yeah, Buggy's better. Karibo's never been that interesting or that funny to me or anything. But, I just like seeing old characters. Like, if it's this guy instead of just some random noob, then that's fine.
It is nice to see him.
Mm-hmm. It's just that
by the way, I don't think we commented on the fact that the hippo smile... the hippo has a mind of its own and can just, like the what's his face with the lion. And so, like, sometimes he just closes his mouth and nobody can hear what Dobon is saying. And he keeps talking. Like, it's
By the way,
the funniest thing of all time.
Hold'em is named after a card game. Somebody let me know if Dobon... I'm going to Google it right now. Is Dobon card... It is. Wait, Dobson card game. Let me know in the comments if that's a card game, because I'm just curious, because that's like the pattern with these characters. But, okay, anyway. And then we just see one panel of that guy locked in the cell, probably that same guy who spits fish bones and kills you. So watch out for that. But here's the guy, Dobon. I think he's just warning him, don't get carried away, guys.
Don't eat all the food, you fucking asshole.
Oh, yeah, even this guy only had, 3 or something available, because these guys ate them all, because they worked too hard and earned too many. Oh, they're turning the tables on him. We're just weaklings whose strength has been depleted because of the sea stone. They just worked seriously, that's true. And then, bam, he eats them. Oops. There goes that fucking hippo.
Yep, they get...
And apparently inside is called a murder chamber inside this hippo's mouth. Is that... So hippo's mouth, canonically, is a murder chamber inside? Does that sound right?
Yeah, seems about right. I mean, if you ever get clasped in a hippo's mouth, that's like the most dangerous place you can be.
That
animal-wise.
Sounds accurate. Yeah, okay.
They can chomp you right in half.
I believe it. But then, oof, whap, bam, pow. Uh-oh. That didn't work out. And there goes the hippo. He took a tumble.
Dead. He got killed. But the funny thing is, nobody has any proof that they did that because nobody could see.
Oh, because inside the murder chamber, nobody could see what was happening.
Yeah. Where's your proof that we did anything? It's
I find that kind of a dumb, silly point that I don't understand, because who's gonna... Okay, there's a thing that happens. It's almost a little bit Mary Sue-esque. Okay, but bear with me for a sec. When your main character gets into a situation where everybody is getting fucked over, but they somehow do better than everybody else who would be in this situation. That's basically what Luffy and Kid are in right now. So they're in this jail. But when for example, Luffy and Kid work really hard and earn all the Kibidango, they're allowed to get it. Where if somebody else had done that who wasn't a main character, maybe the guards would have beat them for being presumptuous or assuming that they deserve food. It's we're applying actual logic. It's when you're a little kid, right? When you're a little kid and your dad says to you you have to take a bath. And then you as a kid say, I'm just going to get dirty tomorrow. What's the point? And you're like, oh, checkmate. There is no way you can beat this logical fucking argument. What your dad's going to do is, slap you around the head and say, I'm your father, you're going to do what I tell you because I'm in charge. That's what happened to me, at least. I assume this is a universal experience.
All right.
That is what would happen, but like, no. Our characters just, like, that doesn't happen to them.
Well,
because why? I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, if you look back a few pages where they've got the big things of food and they're eating them, the guards that are looking at it, like presumably who gave them the food, are like saying, "Oh shit, they working, eating, sleeping, they healed up real fast. How the hell are we supposed to break their spirits?" And then one of them is like, "Fully chew your food before you swallow." He's like, he's actually like cares about them and cares about them like not choking, and it's kind of like characterizing these guards as like not terrible people who would do that, even though there was a guard earlier who was like talking about amputating an old man.
Yeah, but that's my point. But we're on the one hand shown guards who are cruel and vicious and like evil, and on the other hand,
there's nothing to say that the guards would like not obey the rules. If a guard wants to hit you, they can just do it. Like there's nothing to say that the guards wouldn't give them the food.
They're currently worried that they're giving them too much food and that they're like regaining health, and they're like, oh, they're getting a little rowdy. Just don't give them the food. You are in charge. You don't have to do it.
Well, though the guys who were giving the food out maybe they're not smart enough to like make an executive decision of that type. And then this deputy warden comes along and is like, all right, I'm putting my foot down here. Like,
okay, I guess that's true. We were dealing with incompetence up to this point, and now, like, basically what I'm requesting be done is happening. Like, someone's coming to, like, settle this situation down because they're getting unruly or something. So, okay, fair enough. But then, this whole, like, thing about, like, where's your proof? That's another, like, checkmate, Dad. You can't prove that I didn't eat my vegetables, or whatever.
It's funny. I don't know. I mean, the point is just to show that they're badass and stuff. But the way it's shown with like kids like really smiley face at the bottom panel, like hey, that
he looks
really
like the Joker.
them.
He looks like he's a member of gang weed, and that it's time for him to rise up. That's literally what he looks like.
Like Luffy doesn't really care about the whole proof thing. It's like you're gonna get executed. It's like whatever. And then Kid is like, where's your proof? And then he's like smiling like, hey, got him.
I don't think the hippo wakes up, they'll have proof. There's no victory here.
I know. I don't think it's saying that they have like a way out of this. It's just that the other prisoners around them are like, yeah, you guys are so cool.
I guess. What I don't understand is why right now all the, I don't know, maybe there's like 50, 100 guards around. Like, these are high profile criminals. They better be watched by powerful or lots. Like, where's the warden? I guess the warden will probably show up next chapter to like deal with the situation. Is my guess. But what I don't know is why don't 50 guards surround them right now and start beating them and just like keep beating them until they're bloody? Because like that's how you break prisoners. If you like are an immoral captor. That's what you do. Why aren't they doing that?
I mean, that might happen immediately after this.
It's some Mary Sue bullshit is what it is. It's some Mary Sue bullshit. And like I said before, this is a small nitpick. It doesn't ruin my experience. But this is a literally too cool for school, checkmate, Dad. God isn't real. I've proved it with facts and logic, and you can't refute it. Instead of God, Dad just comes down with the Bible and just slaps you around until you believe. That's what should be happening right now. And I want to see it next chapter. Oh, it's very silly. This is like for the kids. This is for the kids. I get it.
Yeah, aka me. I love this. It's really funny. I'm thoroughly entertained by the badass stuff.
It's fine. I'm not going to worry about it too much. The point is, more or less, I love Kid. He's great. This is the first real Kid stuff we've gotten in the series, as far as I'm concerned, and I absolutely love him. Can't wait to see more. I have been waiting for the Kid arc for like, I don't know, literally a dozen years or something like that, and it's finally here. I'm at full fucking mast. I'm fully throbbing, fully torqued. Jesus Christ, I can't wait to see him do more cool shit and get his devil fruit. I want to see him use his fucking devil fruit. Yes.
I'm excited to see him like. I'm excited to see us understand why he's like Luffy, but he kills people and he gets angry. I feel like he's just sort of like a bit of a tantrumer, and like he just sort of takes it too far. But like he's the sort of badass who has like a kind of an adorable like murderer streak, if you know what I mean.
True. Yeah, I feel you. That's true.
So like,
by the way,
he will be on the right side of history when it comes to like fighting Kaido. But he's gonna like say, you know, just because like we're friends now doesn't mean I'm gonna not kill you and rip your spine out, bitch. It's just like, yeah, whatever,
True.
kid.
Incidentally, his latest bounty was apparently 470 million berries, just for everyone's record. Luffy's was 500,000, I think, before defeating, the Big Mom shenanigans, defeating Katsukuri and whatnot. So, roughly equivalent, roughly. And by the way, I'm looking at, speaking of, like, what Kid was like as a kid, why he's so crazy, I'd like to point out a couple things. One was, remember when Eam, the big crown guy in Marijois, when he was, like, sitting with all those posters, he had one of, like, Shirahoshi and, like, Luffy and stuff. Kids was one of them, I'd just like to point out. Kids was one of them. And there's another thing about, we see Kid as a child in some of the SBSs, and while he looks a little bit shabby, he mostly just looks like a happy kid who's, like, tinkering with a robot toy with a wrench. So, just saying, he doesn't look as, like, sad or, like, miserable as, like, Blackbeard did as a kid. So, I'm just excited to learn. By the way, he's from the South Blue, for those who are wondering. He's from the South Blue. We don't know many people from the South Blue, so I'm hoping he can teach us some things.
I have one last thing that I'm wondering about. They're talking about, like, these two prisoners, Luffy and Kid.
Yeah.
Having been doing this for a few weeks. And it seems to be that Kid has been here for, like, roughly the same amount of time that Luffy has, and I'm not sure that lines up with everything. Like, when was, like, the fight with Kaido? Like, how long ago was that?
Well, okay, we know for a fact that Kid, the last time we saw Kid was when Kaido was hanging out on, like, a different island, or it definitely wasn't, like, in this jail, and we saw Kaido, like, drinking and being sad, and then he looks over, and we see Kid, like, in, like, a bloody heap, like nearby Kaido, he'd locked in a cell or something. So he definitely hasn't been here since, like, Kaido first showed up and, like, destroyed, when him, Hawkins, and Apu were having their meeting way back in the day. So at the very least, it's been since that happened. I don't remember exactly when that was, but it wasn't a super long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I
guess
like
that's all I got.
The events of Whole Cake. All that happened, and Zoe maybe and maybe.
Oh, by the way, it was during Zoe. You know what? This is actually relevant. It was during Zoe. After the confrontation with Kaido, Kid was severely beaten and imprisoned by the Yonko and his crew. So that was chapter 824, is when we saw Kid beaten up and stuff, and that was, let me see, what was happening at 824. Oh yeah, that was during Zoe. So then all that's happened since then, the amount of time that's passed is they sailed to Whole Cake, they did all the Whole Cake things, which maybe took like a week or two to get there and back or something, and then they went to Wano directly afterward. So that doesn't seem like a massive span. He maybe has been here like a month, maybe. That might even be highballing
I guess.
it. So that's
maybe he was recently transferred here from, like, maybe Kaido returned here because there's an event happening soon.
Yeah, definitely possible.
And he brought his prisoners with him and put them in. Yeah. So I guess it makes sense. It just feels so long since we saw that initial, like, Kid getting captured thing.
That was 102 chapters since we last saw him. So that's about 2 years real life, more or less. A little bit more than that, but fair enough. Well, that's the end of the chapter, ladies and gentlemen. Kid and Luffy are swagging out. Luffy saved this old man from being killed and shit, because he's a good old boy. And
they got the prisoners on their side, so there's definitely going to be some sort of prison revolt. The one
more
thing
like
I'm wondering about...
Revolt. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for what we need to do, fellow gamers. And Kid literally is the Joker. I'm just letting you know.
I mean,
gang weed.
Yes.
Gang weed.
Oh, dude, they've got, like, that's the thing. They want the Joker for Kaido's crew. They got Jack, and they got King and Queen.
Oh my God! Yes.
And Don Flamingo's dead, so like we need a new Joker.
Need a new Joker. The Joker position's open, and oh my God, Kid, look at his face. He's gonna be like, "You're wondering how I got these scars?"
I made them myself.
dad was a bit of a drinker. Yeah, he's gonna pull out a huge blunt, and that'll be that. All right, that's it. Weed's good. That's all I have to say.
Yes.
That's the end of the chapter. By the way, I see on that bottom panel it says the worst won't tolerate this. Oh, that's talking about them as the worst generation. Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah. So like basically all the worst generation are here. So that's
yeah. These guys, so they're too tough to be beaten down by a silly old prison system. They're gonna rise up, and so they shall next week. Hopefully, when we see another chapter, another adventure from our lads.
Yes.
Patreon.com/thepodcast pirates people. Mm-hmm. Go there, give us money, get a color, and get in the Discord. And you can just join below as a lowly white by clicking the link in the description. So get in there and talk with us about One Piece every week. It's a good time. It's a fun place. Lots of very active. Lots of discussion. Spoiler talk is segmented off in its own place. Main chapter discussion when it comes out. Oh, it's a good place to be.
I feel like I should be in there more.
Yeah,
I'm not in there quite that much.
I try to pop in basically every time there's a new chapter. I like to get a sense for what people are saying. And while I go to like A on 4chan stuff and like read the threads a little bit, but going to the Discord's even better for me. It's faster, easier. It's good. Well, a lot of good stuff. I like to hear it. So yeah, I recommend it. Being part of the community is a real good reason, or like reading One Piece is great, but being part of the discussion community week to week really enriches the experience. So either be it through Discord or be it through like forums or whatever, there's a lot of good stuff, and I'd highly recommend being involved if you put in the work to read week to week. A lot of good to get out of it, I think. All right, that's it, everybody. We'll see you next week. Have a beautiful day. Have a wonderful time, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Goodbye.